International travellers are flocking to OR Tambo International Airport as they try to leave South Africa. That's as more countries around the world impose a ban on flights from South Africa over concerns about the new COVID-19 variant, Omicron. Malungelo Booi is live for us at OR Tambo International. Malu, good morning. Good to speak to you. What is the situation on the ground?
I'll tell you this, Hugo. I mean, we are on the international checkpoints. In fact, behind us, what you're seeing are the people that are traveling to Mauritius, as you would know. Mauritius just issued a statement this morning, in fact, saying as of Monday, all commercial flights that will be coming from South Africa will be suspended. And so some of the people that have been able at least to speak to you off camera are saying that they want to get home as soon as possible before really that suspension is imposed by Mauritius. Of course, Hugo, we know that it's not only South Africa that has been affected by this ban. Other countries in the Southern African region have also been affected by this ban. We're talking here Zimbabwe, we're talking Botswana, Lesotho, Swaziland and Namibia. And so what we're currently seeing here really at the OR Tambo International Airport are some people that are trying to get out as soon as possible. But we already know, though, airlines like British Airways and Lufthansa have already suspended some of their flights from this country because of the concern, Hugo. The EU bloc, in fact, has agreed that the European Union has agreed, countries in that bloc have agreed to suspend the commercial flights coming from South Africa and other Southern African countries over this concern. We already know, though, Hugo, that there are some tests really that are currently being done, not only here in South Africa, but in also other parts of the world where this variant has actually been detected, to see how contagious is it and how fast does it spread. But one of the things, though, officials at least from South Africa have indicated, have said that this variant is showing very scary or worrying signs of mutation. Hugo.
Mala, I'd imagine that some of the people that you've spoken to might indicate that holiday plans or business plans have had to have been cancelled rather abruptly.
Well, Hugo, that's exactly the concern, and it was to be expected when something like this essentially happened. Some of the people have had to really pack and leave as a matter of urgency before more countries begin to impose that ban really on South Africa. And we already know, though, Hugo, that previously when the travel ban was imposed on South Africa, this has had devastating effects on the country's economy and especially the tourism industry, which has over the past 2 years really been decimated as a result of COVID-19 and the lockdown and its restrictions. There's no doubt then, Hugo, that what we're currently seeing with this new variant, it's causing a lot of chaos, and it will continue to cause a lot of chaos as long as there are bans in terms of traveling, especially from people coming to other parts of the world who want to visit South Africa.
Marla, before we let you go, have you been able to get a reaction from any of the airlines and as far as their ability to accommodate all these travelers that are seeking to leave the country all at one go?
Not as yet, Hugo. We've not been able to speak to any airline, but I will tell you what I observed really, especially with Emirates. Earlier on, there were staff members who were just standing around. They were talking, and you could see that they're in deep discussion. And a few moments after that, we then saw them starting to open up and assisting passengers who essentially also want to travel. That's going to be interesting then for those travelers who are traveling with Emirates, because obviously their transit point is Dubai, and we know though that Dubai is also one of those countries that has suspended flights, really, or travelers from South Africa into that country. So it's going to be really interesting then to see whether, the travelers that are traveling with Emirates to Dubai, whether, what will happen to them. I suppose, though, most of those that are traveling with the Emirates are people that already are going to Dubai, live there and work there, and they just want to get there as soon as possible before the situation gets worse. And I suppose, Hugo, that's what everyone actually who's here at the OR Tambo International Airport, who's also trying to leave, wants to do. They want to get out of South Africa as soon as possible before, the situation gets bad. In fact, when we were walking towards this particular area, our live location, we're seeing a long line of people that were doing their PCR tests and their COVID tests. And we know, Hugo, that some of the countries like Mauritius have indicated that travelers coming from South Africa will have to produce that COVID test and PCR test if they want to be allowed into the country. And that test should have cleared them of COVID-19 or any symptoms for that matter. Hugo.
Our reporter Malungelo Booi coming to us from OR Tambo Airport, where he's assessing the situation as travelers make that last-ditch effort to return to their countries before the restrictions are imposed.